Well, this sign isn't exactly accurate. There's no private party here unless you're talking about seagulls and jackrabbits, but it might as well be closed for a private party because almost all hotels are closed these days. Years ago, I read an Indian philosopher who said, "I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life is service. I acted and behold, service was joy." And that's why I got into the hospitality business in my mid-20s, and I called my company Joie de Vivre because it was all about creating joy. Well, it's a noble profession, always has been. It's about coming face to face with our own humanity as well as the humanity of our guests, and if we do it right, we create the crucible where we don't change people, but people change themselves because of their experience of being with us. But change is pretty much the word necessary for the hospitality business right now because it's an awful business and in a lot of trouble. 51% unemployment rate in the travel and hospitality business in the United States today. That's twice what it was at the peak of the Great Depression in the 1930s. 80% of restaurateurs are perceived, independent restaurateurs are perceived as not going to be reopening this summer. So what are we going to do? The hospitality business is going out of business, and yet the world could use a little bit more hospitality. The White House could use a little bit more hospitality, and ironically, the guy sitting in the White House is a hotelier. Well, I want to quote Maya Angelou. Interestingly enough, she was our first the name of our first cohort at MEA almost 2.5 years ago. That cohort named themselves the Maya Angelou cohort. And she said long ago, and I think this quote is relevant, and why all companies are hospitality companies, not just hotel companies, but every company needs to remember this. People will forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Thank you to the hospitality industry in the midst of the depths of its deepest valley ever. Thank you for helping us to remind ourselves how we should feel and that we should feel good when we're actually in contact with you. I'm pulling for you, the hotels and restaurants of the world. Love you from Baja.